All right, is it working? Looks like it's working. Maybe a little delayed. This is a new system, so I'm using a laptop now, and I have an external microphone and a webcam, and I'm not sure how to get it to work yet, but I think it's working. All right, looks like it's working. I'm probably like 10 seconds delayed, so I'm gonna figure out how to fix that in the future, but please let me know in big bold letters if the feed starts getting choppy. I've been fighting this for the last 2 sessions, and I just can't figure it out. So I went out, thankfully, I got a bonus at work, and I spent all of it on equipment for the show. So I got a new camera, I got new lighting, which is really cool. Check this out. Hey, you want some more me? Less me. What? Whoa. Anyway, it's looking great. So I'm super happy with the way that it's turned out. Did a few test runs, and it seems like it's great. But please, let me know. I'm always trying to improve, make things better. So thanks again for watching. So this is Gear Talk episode 18. So Gear Talk is the every other week show that I like to get around and, just talk shop. I've got a ton of different skates that I've been collecting over the last year or so. And, I like dissecting them and figuring out why they're good, why they weren't so good, what my favorite skates are, how I can make them better, things like that. So tonight, I wanted to first jump into some feedback on my latest skates, the USD Seven. All right. So these are the USD Seven. I got these, 2 weeks ago, I think. I announced when they came out on Gear Talk, and yeah, I'm really, really happy with them. So these are the USD Seven. I don't know what they are called. I think they're just the Seven. There's a team version as well, which is like a cheaper version. This one comes with the MyFit liner, which I've found to be really nice. It's a flat sole boot, which is great, which definitely helps with shock absorption and just basic all-around skating comfort. So what that means is that on the inside, there's a little bit of a shock absorber. This frame is completely flat, and the boot, the shell of the boot, is completely flat as well. So when you mount the sole plate on and the frame on, it's just like this flat surfaces. The problem, of course, is that's not a very comfortable way to skate. You feel like you're falling back a lot. If you look at your shoes, you've got a slight heel on your shoes when you're walking. So you want a little bit of forward lean whenever you're walking or when you're skating. And these have an internal shock absorber, which gives you that little angle so that it feels like you're leaning forward a little bit. But because they can use squishy material, instead of it just being a hard, rigid lean forward, it actually contributes to your ride. So it feels a lot better when you're doing gaps or landing off of a grind or doing airs or things like that. Anytime that you stomp a trick, it's much more padded than if you didn't have one. Like if you were skating on a Majestic 12 or a Razor's Colt or something like that. So I really love that aspect of this. This is a $200 skate, and traditionally it's hard to find a flat sole for anything less than $300. This is the cheapest that I found, and I highly recommend it for that. I think that the shell itself is good. It's a really nice stiff boot. There's no frills. It's just a solid boot. Not much style to it. It's just like a very plain looking shell. The sole plate is amazing. So I've skated these probably 2 sessions now. I skated them in an indoor park. I skated them at an outdoor park, and I skated them at the Durham Park. So 2 outdoor parks and 1 indoor park. And I love them. I mean, I can do all of my tricks with some exceptions. I'm still skating the stock Kaiser fluid frames. These are designed for anti-rocker. They have a really nice wide split. This is like a 4, even 5 finger split, depending on the size of your fingers, of course. And they come with these little anti-rocker nubs that don't really do much. They just kind of spin a little bit, but they stop you from sticking. You know, it's better than just riding a freestyle with no wheels in the middle. But yeah, the frames have been great. They feel a little hollow to me, if I'm being honest. Kind of like a crunchy, almost like a metallic sound when I'm grinding. And that's not so great. But the grinds themselves feel great. You know, when I lock on Royale, when I lock on back Farv, these things feel solid. Soul tricks, you know, I have no issues landing souls, even switch soul. This is my switch soul. I don't skate switch soul very much, but you can see that there's definitely some good wear. This is my Royale. One of the weird things about this, if you can see closely, the angle doesn't quite line up properly. So I actually brought my my demonstrating rail today. This is my my piece of PVC pipe, and if you look at the groove, it's really interesting. So I don't really know how to give you a good angle of it, but maybe that's a pretty good one. The groove itself, so in this frame, the groove is really nice. I mean, it grinds right down to your sole plate. So when you put on the rail, you can see there's a really nice angle. And this, you know, if I had it straight, that's not a very low angle for boot down Royales, right? I mean, it's barely cranked it down. If you compared this to like, oh, what's a good one? I would say maybe a Seba, but that's probably bad. Let's see. Oh, here's a good one. Old Reliable. So these are the rollerblade new jacks, and these were the ones that I had a really hard time with Royales. The Royale angle for the new jack, look at how low that is. Let me turn around so it's a little easier for you. So this is the rollerblade new jack, and you can see the Royale angle of that thing. Look how low that is if you wanted to get boot down. And then compare that to this. I mean, there's a noticeable difference, right? This is so much more stand up than the rollerblade new jack. And there's a few reasons for that. You know, it's not difficult, it's math. The depth of this groove goes so deep into the frame that when you have this groove on the edge, the angle doesn't need to be that sharp in order to hit the sole plate. Add to that, this sole plate comes out so far that it starts rubbing way out here, and those 2 points are what creates your Royale angle. So the wider the sole and the lower the frame, the less you're gonna have to squat down to do Royales. And that's fine, you know, that's fine. Like, if you're just learning Royales, this might be a pretty good learner skate. I struggled a little bit with the Royale, and the reason is that I'm used to getting lower than this will let me. So when I got, you know, boot down on my Royales, I felt like I wasn't boot down, and I would try to go even further. So I would get like this, right? And I'd say, oh, I need to get boot down, which to me is like this, and I'd start slipping out because I'm not on my frame anymore. So you've gotta, I mean, this is so high. This would be too much boot, and that's, you know, it's hard to balance just on this. You got to have 2 points of contact. You know, you got to have the sole plate and the frame itself, and that makes that really strong Royale angle. I wish that this was ground down a little bit. I'm not going to do it, but I feel like this is the sort of thing that if we were skating more concrete ledges instead of skate parks, that you would get a really nice Royale groove in here. And that's where these sole plates would really start to shine. There's plenty of material here to keep from rubbing into the boot. So these sole plates, as soon as you get them worn down and they get into this really nice groove for your skate, they're probably gonna be really nice. Out of the box though, these are amazing skates. I'm gonna skate them again this weekend. I think that you know, for the price, they're great. For any price, they're great. I would highly recommend these for skates for anybody coming back into blading. You know, a few reasons. The internal shock absorber is really nice. It's a really nice ride. The sole is nice and wide. The frame is great out of the box. You're able to do any grind that you want to. The Royale angle, although, you know, isn't great, isn't perfect, it's a lot more forgiving than some of the other skates on the market. And yeah, I think they actually really look cool. You know, it's very much like if you have a look down, it's kind of like a hockey look. You know, it's a very matte black skate cool laces. I mean, there's not a lot not to like. I did replace the wheels. The stock wheels that came with it weren't great. I started, I only skated them maybe 2 hours, and I started already getting wear on the inside edges. And that's just an indicator that they're going to wear faster than I want them to. They're rated at 89A, which isn't too soft, but it felt like it was just way too soft. When I was doing slides, I would come with some speed and I would turn to avoid hitting a fence or something. My foot would just slide out. It just wasn't a good feeling. So I switched in with some 60 millimeter Conjure Sean Smith wheels. It looks like these could probably fit 62s. I don't know I guess the Joe Go Projects are 62. Might be a little tight, but it looks pretty close. 60s felt great though. I don't know if you would want to go any bigger than a 60. But yeah, for the price, I mean, $220 and then get yourself a new set of wheels for $40 or something like that. This is a really hard skate to beat. All right, how's the feed? Everybody looking okay? I see that it's a little bit delayed. I'm going to try to fix that in the future, but it looks like it's pretty good. So I think I'm in good shape now. All right. So I said that this stock 7 is going to be hard to beat. Well, I've got something that beats it, from my opinion, of course. But I think you'll agree it's a pretty incredible looking setup. Here we go. What is that? So these are the new yellow 50/50 frames for 2019. These are the same material as the black frame, same material as the white frame, same design, same everything. The only difference is they come in this crazy yellow. It looks amazing with this skate. It matches this bright yellow from the inside of the liner. It will come with yellow juice blocks when they are released. Right now, I only got a set of frames for color samples and, confirmed, obviously. I don't know how they're showing up here, but they are a serious looking yellow. Same things as any balanced frame. So they fit up to a 60 millimeter wheel on the outside. If you're riding anti-rocker, they will fit 64 if you've got large frames and you've got a groove in your sole, kind of like a Them 908 or a Rollaway New Jack or a Solo or something that has a pre-groove. So you can fit probably a 64 in there. They will come with juice blocks. Yellow juice blocks will be stock, but you can ride white juice blocks, or if you want to be fancy, black juice blocks. So you can swap in black juice blocks if you want. These are black juice blocks, black wheels, depending on the skate. I had these on some shifts. I don't know where those are. But on an all black skate or a black and gray skate, these things are going to look great. So I'm super excited about them. They are in production now. They will be shipping to me on the 20th of March. The frames should be in stock last week of March, probably first week of April, knowing customs and trying to get things in from China right now into the US. So I'm assuming that it's going to be first week of April. Pre-orders start next week. So what day is that? What day is today? 27, 28, first, so what, the 8th, I guess? So Friday the 8th. Not a lot of pre-order prizes this time. I am going to make some custom laces. So I'm going to have some black laces with yellow 50/50 logos. This logo, that's going to be on all of the laces like a pattern. So I'm going to throw those in the box. They're going to be 63 inch, which is enough for normal lacing. These are 63s. They won't be the 72s that will be long enough that you can wrap around the back of your skate. I don't really like that style, so I'm going to keep them as 63s. I think that's the right length for most people. Those are going to be in the box. Here's the catch. This is a special color for this year. I'm only doing one run. When they sell out, they're going to sell out. So 300 sets are coming in. If you want a set, get your pre-order in. Seriously. I've got shops that are going to be ordering them, so they'll be carrying them. I'm going to set aside as many as I can for people who want them directly. Pre-orders start next week. As soon as they're gone, they're gone. I'm not going to make these again. You know, I think trying to keep every color in stock is really difficult. So I'm just going to do one color every year. 2019 is the year for yellow. So we're going to do yellow. Pre-orders start next week. They'll be in stock first week of April. I'll have more information, of course. This is just Gear Talk, a bunch of people talking shop. But I'll have more information on the website and on the Instagram and Facebook in the next week or so. I'm going to be skating this setup this weekend. These are the 60mm Cameron Talbot sick urethane wheels with white juice blocks on the USD Seven. I think this setup is remarkable. I think it's going to be beautiful. Full review, not really. I can't really review balance frames, but I am going to be putting these through their paces. I want to grind them up. I already have my studio shots, marketing stuff that makes them look pretty. I want to scratch them up and make them look dirty now so that people could see what they really look like when they get worn. I love this frame. I think it looks amazing. I don't know what it looks like on there, but it's amazing in color. In person, I should say. Anyway, I'm super excited about it. It's the first frame that I've been able to totally afford production before any pre-orders. So everything is paid for. The frames are coming regardless, which is a little scary, to be honest. But I have confidence that this is going to be a great color. I love it. I think people are going to like it. Again, pre-orders next Friday, March the 7th, I think, 8th. Follow us on Instagram or Facebook for more information. And yeah, make sure you get them. If if you want them, get them early because they're going to sell out. Especially, I think they'll be fine up until summer. I don't think that you need to stay up and click the button like an iPhone or something like that. But I have a feeling that they're going to sell pretty quickly. Shops already took a bunch, and I want to make sure that you get them. So if you do, please don't delay. Make sure that you get them early. And yeah, thanks. This was an overwhelming #1 color that people wanted. And I listen. If you want a specific color, let's hear it. I don't know how many times people said they wanted yellow. And yeah, I listened. So here it is. Let's get it. All right. Let me see some of the comments. Anything bad? Nothing bad. Let me answer some of the questions if there are any. Yes, you can order direct from the Fitty Fitty site. There will be other shops doing pre-orders. Obviously all the shops that carry Fitty Fitty now will have them in stock. We'll be doing them online as well. Everybody will get the same laces. Again, we're just trying to help shops and help ourselves. If it's easier for you to just order directly from the Fitty Fitty site, great. We'll have bearings and shirts and we'll have some bundles. This is actually one of the new spring line. This is a lightweight hoodie. It'll have embroidery of the little logo. Super subtle. It's a hoodie that's kind of like a zip-up t-shirt with the pockets and everything. It's really nice. My wife really liked it, so I was like, sold. But we'll have some bundles for t-shirts and bearings and things like that, so you can save a little money. Obviously, supporting us directly is much appreciated, but if you have a skate shop that you want to support, or if you're in a region that you don't want to pay for the shipping, get with your local skate shop. I highly recommend that you support your local shops. That's the way that we can bring more people into the sport. I go to Oak City probably every other week and I spend way too much money, but it's important. If you have a local shop, you've got to take care of that local shop. So fittyfittyframes.com if you want to order, or go to a local shop or order online. I don't really care. I just want to make sure that you get them because they will sell out. I mean, it's a weird color. It's not something that I'm going to make again. Like, this is the time. It's going to be 5 years or so until I make another yellow. So I'm not big enough to have those in stock all the time. So once they're gone, they're gone. Eddie, backpacks. Yes, so nothing to announce yet on timing, but I've also put the down payment on the backpacks. So we have 150 backpacks coming in. I don't have the ship date yet, but they are in production. So once they get a little closer, I'll know. My money is on end of April. They will be a very similar setup to the way we'll do yellow frames, but I'm going to keep making those backpacks. I have a feeling that backpacks are always going to be a cool thing to have in stock. Yellow frames, I think it's going to be hard to keep them in stock, and I think people like to, change up different colors. So after the year of yellow is done, 2020 we'll do a different color, and we'll just have that color for that year. I can't keep that much inventory. I'm in my garage, I don't have a warehouse. I don't have, any shelving or anything like that. I've got a stack of frames. So the bags are going to kill me. I'm only bringing in 150 to start just to make sure that they're still a popular design. My good friend Jess Deerenforth has been testing them. He helped design the original one. I did the design of the original one, and he helped, of course. We've got it slimmer, so it's not as big. It won't fall in on itself. The pockets are a little slimmer. It's more supportive, and it's got a wider pocket on the side for a water bottle. It's got a hook in the front so that you can strap your helmet onto it. And it'll come with some really cool freebies that I will announce later. So I'm not going to do pre-orders for those until I know what the ship date is, and I won't do pre-orders until I'm a month out. I don't need your money yet, so you can start saving. They'll be less than $100. That's for sure. I don't know what they're going to be total. Again, this whole customs and tariffs thing is scary, and it's hard to predict how much things are going to cost right now. But I know that they won't be more than $100. So start saving if you want one. They'll be available probably end of April, definitely in time for summer. They're in production now. I've just got to wait until they start ramping up so that they can estimate how long it's going to be until they can get them to me. Oh, Steve, brown frames. No, that's a bad color. That's a really hard color to make look good. I think that there could be some brown frames, but I don't know. All right. You think we're done with product announcements? Get this. So you might have seen this on the internet, but we have a new product that I don't know how they found the picture. But, I've been doing big wheels, I've been doing frames, I've been doing back to blading, and now we're starting to do backpacks. What else could we possibly do? Helmets, of course. So, you saw a picture on the internet. Here it is. I'm not actually doing helmets. I thought it was hilarious that somebody, what is it, Smelly Rems, I think is what it's called. Whatever the Instagram is. It was hilarious. I got sent it so many times. Really appreciate it. If you can't laugh at yourself, don't put yourself out there. So, not making any helmets, especially not any helmets that look like my bald head. But I will definitely encourage people to wear your helmet. You're too old to be on rollerblades and not wear a helmet. So anyway, that's it. That's the joke. I do have some new product that I wanted to show though, and see if, I don't know, see if you guys have any thoughts on it. For some reason, 2019 and the end of 2018 became the year of the ice blade. So the more and more you see people skating on ice with skates, and more companies are making adapter kits and frames and stuff that are designed for ice. So I don't know what the original one was, but I saw a while back the Flying Eagle one that basically you took one of their standard like 4x80 frames and you had this ice blade that you would put in, and then instead of using the wheels, the ice blade stuck out and you would put the axle through and you would tighten down all 4 axles, and then the ice blade would use the wheels for the mounting area. That was the first one that I saw. seems like it did the job. I don't know that that's, I don't know. I feel like the frame is a little wide for that, you know, so if you do a tight turn or something, you're going to slip out. So not really sold on that one. There's this prototype one that I saw Shredpool using, which has, it's a really interesting design. I think it's a UFS style as well. So it doesn't use the frame. It uses the UFS bolts. And it has these two little blades in the front and the back. And in the middle is this groove, so you can do groove tricks. Really interesting design. Again, I don't know how practical it is, but he looked like he was having a good time. So more power to him. The two main ones that I think people are actually looking at using are the Power Slide Trinity Mount one and the Ground Control UFS one. So the Trinity one is Trinity frame, so it has that 3-point mounting system. It looks kind of flimsy, like very lightweight, like the blade is just kind of floating under there, and there's a few arms that kind of come up, but it doesn't look like it couldn't take a puck, that's for sure. Like if you were blocking shots and somebody took a slap shot to your skate, I don't think that would fare super well. I might be completely wrong. I haven't seen them in real life. They look a little lightweight though. I know Tiago got a set and he really liked them. He said that they were fun. And that's the goal of these ice frames. You know, it's not to replace hockey skates. It's not to replace figure skates. It's to put some sort of a blade on your inline skates so that you can skate all year round. I don't have a Trinity boot that I really like. I want to get a pair of the Power Slide Next or maybe the Power Slide Zoom. But I do have a pair of UFS skates that I wanted to get some ice blades for. So I went to Oak City this week and I picked up a pair of the Ground Control UFS ice frames. And here they are. All right. So this is the, take this thing off. So this is the Ground Control UFS ice blade. This is mounted on a Razor shift using the Razor's Cosmo sole plates. These sole plates are part of the IFC system, the instant frame change system. So the way that it works is the sole plate, there's two little buttons that you push, pop, pop. You can pull off the side and then you pull off the bottom. So it's a two-piece system. This isn't designed for grinding. This is designed for big wheels. You know, it uses these Ground Control 3-wheel tri-skate frames. That's what these are designed for, but they're perfect for the ice blade as well. So this ice blade looks like a hockey ice blade. It is a rugged plastic shoe. What is it called? Holder? I don't know what they call it. I think we got into this with Ben a few times. And the blade, you know, it doesn't come out. It looks like, you know, they had the mold and they put the blade in and then they molded the thing around it and then it just kind of, you know, I don't know what it does, dried or cooled and then it, you know, became this hard thing. It is really hard though. I don't know if there's more metal inside. It is a really solid connection. It uses UFS, so there's only 2 bolts that connect it. I don't know. First of all, I don't know if that's enough. You know, if you think of, I wish I could get there in the shelf over there in a bag buried, but if you think of traditional hockey skates or ice skates, they are riveted. So it's the blade and the shell and the frame and everything. It's riveted into the boot. I feel like this is going to have a lot of wiggle. So I'm not really sure about all that, but I mean, it's the best that they can do, aside from building their own IFC ice blade, which seems a little cost prohibitive. Yeah, so this is it. So it's kind of weird. There's an obvious front and a back. So this is the front and this is the back. And I don't know that my hockey skates have a front and a back. I'm gonna have to find out. But you can see that this is a little bit lower to the ground than this. This is definitely like more of a radius in front. I don't know what the length is. I don't know what the radius is of this. I don't know what the sharpening is. I usually got mine, what did I get? 5/8 traditional. It feels like it's been sharpened. I don't know. Like, I feel like there's an edge. There's a few little nicks, so to be honest, I'm really scared to skate these. Because the problem is that, I grew up ice skating. So my mom was a figure skater, and, ever since I could, I was on the ice. So probably started around 8 was when I started figure skating. Going to open ice and going to, whatever, group skating or whatever. Started playing hockey when I was 12, and I started playing competitive hockey when I was 15. So I grew up skating. I've been playing ice hockey. I haven't stopped playing ice hockey until 2 years ago when I switched completely over to rollerblading. I don't know that I'm going to be able to skate these without seriously hurting myself. Just because the weight, I don't know. I'm going to have to get out there and just really slow myself down. I'm really curious what it's going to feel like to skate backwards with these because this radius is so different. I'm really curious what like hockey stops and edges and, like hard power turns are going to feel like. I'm curious I'm going to be able to hold an edge with these. I don't know. The things that I do for you guys. I don't have an ETA on when I'm going to work on this. I think, this weekend's going to be skating aggressive. Hopefully it's dry. Maybe sometime next week, like some evening, I can go to like a open skate. I'm not going to get, well, maybe I will. I don't know. I was thinking I might get in full hockey equipment because that would make a fun review. Maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see. But maybe I might wear knee pads. I just don't want to fall and hurt myself, assuming that this thing's going to be there and it's not. But yeah, so this is it. This is the ice hockey blade or the ice blade. It's really interesting. I think that, I don't know. For people living in the United States who don't get a lot of snow, who don't get a lot, especially me living in the South in North Carolina, we don't get any snow. Like we get a day of snow. If you were living up in Minnesota, if you were living up in Canada, if you were living up somewhere where it snows more regularly, I can see these as a really nice thing, especially with the IFC system. So pushing down the buttons, pop it off, and slap on a new frame if you wanted to go skate into a skate park or something, and then popping them back on and skate your pond or whatever. I see that as a really nice way. These are $60. If you already have a razor shift, if you already like the skate, if you like the liners, if you just want to go out and have fun on the ice, it's probably a really good solution for that. But if you were just looking for ice skates, I don't know. That's going to be the real question. Anyway, review in a few weeks. I don't know when I'm going to be able to get out there. It's not going to be a full review. It's going to be a single video, I think. But yeah, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. If there's anything that I can ask or anything that I can test about these, I'm really curious. I might bring my other skates and just compare 1 to 2. But again, those are like $800 carbon, carbon skates. So it's not really fair to compare those to these. Yeah, let me know. I'd love to answer some questions. I think that it's a really interesting product. And clearly with all these skate companies getting into this, there's got to be some demand. So who knows? All right. Any questions anybody has? Going through, if there's anything that anybody has questions about, feel free to ask. There is a bit of a lag. It looks like a 15-second lag, so I apologize if I'm not answering quickly. Moto Thug 217. Yes, white Fitty Fitty frames are in stock. You can get them at fittyfittyframes.com. They're in stock now, and I'll ship them out, tomorrow or the next day. You can also go to, I don't know where you are, but in the States, I know they just got a reorder at Roller Warehouse, Intuition. I know they're in stock in Oak City. I don't know who else has white frames in stock, but those are the 3 that I've talked to recently. Overseas, I'm I'm assuming that you're not in Malaysia, but Doshi just got his white frames in, so they're available in Doshi. Who else has them? Hedon Skate has them in stock if you're looking out there. Skate Solution has them in stock if you're looking in Germany. Plenty of places to get them. 5050frames.com has a list of all of the different shops. I always recommend going with a local shop if you have one. It just helps the ecosystem. If you don't have any luck, or if you want to just go straight to me, absolutely no problem there. There's a shop on the website. Fill out your information, credit card, stuff like that, and I'll ship them out. So I don't do deals. I don't do any special pricing or anything. I'll throw in some extra stickers and stuff. But I don't want to undercut the shops. I want to make sure that frames and parts and clothing and stuff are available if people want them. But definitely visit your local shop if you have one. Cobra Kai, I'm just getting to this one. Sorry. This is actually for my 8-year-old daughter. I think she got it when she was 6, but she does like her helmet. Aphex, APHEXX. Thank you for tuning in. Different sizes of wheels. So I'm assuming you're talking about Compass. Yes, we have different sizes of wheels coming. So a little update on Compass. Production was completed on Monday. The wheels have been picked up. They are arriving in Atlanta Airport on Thursday, tomorrow. And I will be picking them up with any luck from the distribution warehouse on Friday. Fingers crossed that everything goes smoothly, but I hope that I'll be able to get them out to everybody this weekend. If not, it's going to be next week. Initial run, 72 millimeter and 100 millimeter. Those are my favorite. Excuse me, I keep burping. I'm sorry. Those are my favorite sizes of wheels. I love my 72s on my Wish frames. I'm going to start skating my 72 mil Aeons wherever those went. Oh, they're in a box somewhere. Oh, there they are. 72 mil Aeons again. Just because I love skating fast, and big wheels when you're just skating, a 72 is a really great ride. Especially if you want to do a little bit of aggressive. An 80 millimeter wheel is a little too big for aggressive in my opinion. I feel like 80 is that line that you're just going to have to skate big. Maybe you can skate transitions. Maybe you can skate around town. Definitely do flat land and footwork and roll things and stuff like that. But if you want to keep grinding and do a little bit of aggressive, I think 72 is as big as you want to go. I love skating my Wish frames. I love skating the Aeon 72. So 72 was the wheel that I wanted to start with. 100s are my favorite size for 3-wheel skates. I like 110s. I feel like the 100 gives me the perfect balance of the quicker acceleration, but still gives you that big wheel coast, and it gives you a nice smooth ride. The bigger the wheel, the smoother the ride. And I skate on some pretty, bricks and stuff like that. Big wheels really make that feel so much better than 80 millimeter wheels or something like that. So I'm bringing in 100 millimeter wheels and 72 millimeter wheels to start. We have some samples coming in. So I have samples of an 80 millimeter wheel coming in. And again, like I said, 80 millimeter I think is an interesting one. It's kind of the beginning of urban free skating, all that size. It's by far the most popular size wheel. But I don't skate 80 millimeter wheels. So before I bring them in, I want to make sure that the 80 millimeter wheel that we're making is a good 80 millimeter wheel. So I'm going to put them on I have some Kaiser Arrows that I'm going to skate. I'm going to see if I can get some ground control 80 millimeter wheels. Ground control 80 millimeter frames. They have a large one that's a longer wheelbase. I have always had a problem because I'm a size 10.5 foot with the shorter standard 80 millimeter frame, which is 243, 80, 80, 80, plus 3 for room in the middle, 243. The 80 millimeter is a really good size. It's great for my replicating what hockey skates feel like. The problem is that I like doing gaps and I like doing, little jumps and stuff like that. And the wheelbase is too short for that, in my opinion. But it's great for flatland. It's great for doing swizzly stuff and 3 turns and, the wizardy stuff. So I'm going to be skating them, and I'm also going to be sending them out to Drew and Brock. Drew is really good at flatland stuff. He's going to give them a shot and tell me what he thinks. And Brock is, a wizard at spins and stuff. So I'm going to send them to him and see what he thinks. They are 85A. They're the same compound that I'm going to make the 72 and the 100s out of. So I want to make sure that that is a good compound, a good durometer, a good everything for an 80 millimeter wheel. And I don't know that yet. After the 80s are in production, I'm going to bring in a sample of 110s. So 110 is an easy one, I think. 110 is a big wheel that is designed for going fast, for having a really smooth, solid ride, and just having fun on your skates. I got those Powerslide Imperials, the 3x110s. Really loved them. I think they were really great frames. They were a little short. But that was my first experience in a big wheel. And I love them, absolutely love them. I just don't skate them very much. I found that I liked the 100s better for me for a 3x110 frame. Even on a 110 frame, using 100 on a 110 frame, you're only losing 5 mil, which isn't that much of a loss of height, especially when you're already so high up there with the 100 millimeter wheels. And I didn't see that noticeable of a difference. However, I do know there's a market. I know that 110 millimeter wheels are fun, especially if you're skating distance, if you're skating around town, if you're skating over bumpy terrain, really bad parking lots and stuff. Those 100s really feel great. So we will, 110s really feel great. So we will be bringing in 110s. I'm going to bring in samples just like I brought in samples of the 80s with the production of the 80s. I would assume that I'll probably have those, depending on how well the 70s and the 100s sell and how quickly I need to reorder, I'll probably have my 80s production started, I'm assuming in late March, maybe early April, which puts the samples of the 110s in maybe end of April, early May. Assuming that everything goes smoothly, I should be able to start production on the 110s in late May, early June. It's really hard to say for sure. It would be great if I could get them in time for summer. That's kind of my goal, but it all depends on how quickly I can flip these wheels and reinvest the money into making more wheels. So we'll see. I highly recommend that you give some 100s a try if you don't like them. I'd be shocked. I think 110 is a really great size, but I think that's kind of the default for big wheels. I don't think many people make 100 mil frames, and when they do, they're super short. Like a 230, and that's like super short for somebody who just wants to skate, big wheels. So yeah, 70s and 100s are coming this weekend. 80s are probably coming in 2 months, and then 110s are probably coming 2 months after that. All right, what else am I missing? Oh, Steve, grind plates. Grind plates, I'm still trying to figure those out. It's hard to get manufacturing for grind plates sorted. I've reached out to a few people, and it's just timing. It's hard to find time to make them. I don't know how many people are going to buy them either. I would like to get them in time for summer, though. I think that it's something that Fitty Fitty needs to make. We're one of the few frames. So, if you look at the Fitty Fitty frame, the grind plate comes on this side right here. We're one of the few frames that actually has room for a grind plate. Most frames have this raised area here, which, it helps in a lot of ways. It gives you more area for grinding. It gives you a bigger area. So, we were talking a little bit about the angle for doing Royale tricks. If you've got a big bulge there, then you've got a little bit more surface area, which changes the angle for Royales, which can make them a little easier. Depends on where the angle is. But I love the idea of grind plates. I love the idea of plastic grind plates. I love the idea of aluminum grind plates. I think plastic grind plates, one of the things that we take for granted now is that, when you're skating anti-rocker, you don't have wheel bite. Well, I love skating flat. And skating flat without grind plates is really hard. You've got to have small frames like 55s. And not a lot of people make 55s yet. So if you don't have a 55 millimeter wheel, you can get a 58, and then you can get a grind plate. And that grind plate like we talked about with the Royales, will push out the angle a little bit more. So when you're doing groove tricks, when you're doing front sides, you'll have more room to avoid wheel bite. So I'm looking into it. I think it's going to happen. I hope that it happens by summer. No promises yet. Again, I don't have any schedules or anything yet, but that's the goal. Obviously, I'll keep you guys in the loop. Oh, right. Any other questions that I can go through? I don't think there are any other questions. All right. Let me see if there's anything else. Oops. Yes, metal grind plates as well. I think metal grind plates would be really great. I'm looking into it. I think it's going to be one of those things that I just got to start making grind plates and see what people think. And to be honest, if they work, like, I don't know if grind plates are needed anymore. I don't want to bring something out that's just for nostalgia's sake, you know. It's got to be something that I actually use. You know, I don't sell anything that I don't skate, which is why we started with 72s and 100s for compass, which is why I'm excited about the yellow frames, because I think they're badass. I don't want to sell something that I don't believe in, and I don't know about grind plates yet. So I'm going to skate them, see what they feel like, and then if I can make them at a reasonable price, I'll probably bring them back. Let me see if there's anything else I can talk about. I don't want to keep you guys on if there's no reason. Oh, maybe we could talk a little bit about the shadows. So I haven't finished up my shadow review yet. I'm sorry. It's been a really rough couple of weeks at home, you know, just family stuff. But I am done skating the shadows. So, you know, I switched over to the USD Sevens. I'm really happy with the shadows. I think that they're incredible skates. I don't know that they're incredible skates for me. More and more people are getting them now, comparing them to the old shadows. I think that, you know, they're different. I think that one of the selling points of the shadow in the past was that you could bring your own shoes. You can't really do that anymore. I think one of the big selling points of the shadow in the past was, I don't know, they're super adjustable, and they definitely are. You know, if this liner fits you good, you can tweak this in and out. You can adjust this angle so that it fits properly in your foot. So there's a lot to be said about that. I don't know. It's hard to justify, to be completely honest. Like, it's a very expensive setup, and I don't know that they're totally worth the money. The big wheel setup, I had a really difficult time with the big wheel setup. I tried the Trimax on there, which is the way that these skates come, 100mm Trimax frames. I just felt like I was floating. I didn't have a good solid feeling, and you know, it really limited my session. I wasn't able to do the things that I wanted to do. Now, if I were skating flat 80s, it might feel better, but yeah, I don't know. I think you're better off getting a skate that's designed for it. I think that there are some people out there who love shadows, and I can absolutely see why. I just don't know that they're for me. They're a great skate if they're for you, but yeah, they're not really my thing. Anyway, that's my shadow review. I hope to have it done. I've been working really hard on it, but this thing is really difficult. You know, I always try to do that 3D like blueprint look to explain concepts with the skate. That thing took forever with this because there's so many parts. You know, there's buckles and there's bindings and there's shoes and things. So making that into a graphic took a long time. I'm done with that, and I just have to get out here and do the review, finalize, and finish it up. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to get to it this weekend. But if the wheels come in, then it's another week. Then I'm going to have to focus on shipping the wheels out. So we will see. Haven't forgotten about it. There's no mystery, though. I think they're fine if you like that sort of thing. I think if you're not into the multiple shoe thing and walking around in high tops, then they're probably not for you. All right. Have I gotten back on my 908s? No, these are the 908s that I was skating. So I haven't skated these since that last video. You know, I document every time I skate, and if you haven't seen it, it's not like I'm doing it in private. You know, I test all my things in private, in public. I think having transparency is good. I think if you see something break, you'll see something break. It's not like I'm going to hide it and edit it out. These are very different than I remember them. You know, this stock sole, I loved the, where is it? This, the King sole. This thing is remarkable. You know, it gave me so much confidence. It's huge, granted, but it gave me so much confidence in sole tricks. Like, it's a good, I don't know, 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch wider. And you can see where I'm grinding. You know, I'm grinding a lot in the outside edge. This is a really hard skate for me to get back into after skating the Shadows and now after skating the Sevens. I have a feeling that I'm going to stay on the Sevens for a while. It's probably not the best skate. I feel like the Aeon is still an amazing skate. This is probably, it's so hard to say. People have asked me, where does this line up versus the 7? And I'm on the fence, you know. I think that the 908 is great. The sole needs to be a little wider for me. You know, I'm tired of, I don't know, I'm tired of missing soles. I don't know that I miss that often with these, but I feel like the more sole, the better. And I think the 7 sole is just wide enough to not be obscene. You know, it doesn't feel like I'm skating around like on Shadows, like, you know, lunch trays. This sole, though, I just feel like it could be a little wider. You know, and maybe it's just me being old, but I just don't want to miss anymore. I look at the grinds on this sole, and I see that I'm grinding all the way to the edge, which leads me to believe that I'm locking on, but I'm locking on barely, you know. With the 7s, I don't know. Oh, where am I grinding? This is my sole foot, yeah. So looking at my sole foot, you know, I'm grinding all the way into the inside. So I've got a really nice solid sole on this. With this one, I mean, I've got the same thing. It's just so much, I don't know. Maybe just the heel is the problem with this. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I end up. I think I need to skate those 7s a little bit more. I haven't skated 50-50 frames on the 7s yet. I want to see what that's like. I want to see what the wish frames are like on the 7s. But yeah, I might be leaning towards the 7 as my favorite normal, you know, favorite skate for everyone. I do still love my Aeon 60s. I think those are, if you can swing it, those are the best skates. For anybody coming back, I recommend them every day. I think that they are amazing skates. They, you know, they're $300 though. So they are coming out with a $200 version that is supposed to be out fall, I think, maybe summer. It's going to have a less good liner, but you know, if you bring your own liner, if you have an old liner that you like, $200 Aeon is hard to beat. These are just more expensive now. You know, what is the Alex Broscal? It's 200 boot only. You know, you add, you know, a set of 50-50 frames, some wheels, and some bearings, you're at, you know, $300. I don't know what the, oh, is there an Alex? That's a good question. Is there an Alex Pro model with a frame complete, or is it just boot only? I think it's just boot only, isn't it? No, is there a ground control one? Or not ground control, create, ugh, I forget. Maybe there is. But that would probably be, you know, a $300 setup. Which is fine. You know, it's fine. But it's an expensive setup, especially compared to an Aeon. I feel like if you get to that $300 range, you really got to start thinking about, what am I comparing this to? And at $300, it's hard to beat the Aeon. The 7's $200, $220. So, you know, the 7 complete $220, or you get an Alex Broscal boot only for $200. Now, granted, you know, it's supporting a good cause. It's supporting Alex. It's supporting John, and I wholeheartedly agree that that's the right way to do it. And, you know, you get the Spirit of Tasha Hodson, which has got to be worth something, right? But if you're just looking for a skate and you don't have any reason to support anybody, the 7 is a pretty good bargain. I saw something from Al. Where did it go? Oh, when am I reviewing the Element 2s and the Solas? You know, I don't know. I don't know when I'm going to review those. I want to. I have... You guys know what I skate. I have doubts that I have room in my world for those frames. I don't skate well enough at park to justify the Sola frames. I think that the Sola frames are incredible. And I can feel that the solid aluminum with the racing axles with a 58 millimeter is a serious, solid feeling. Like if you added that to like a carbon, like a USD carbon or a Seba, like you're going to have a seriously solid feeling when you're doing grinds or skating or doing anything. But I just don't know that I need that level. I don't know. Like, I feel like aggressive for me is very much grinder blading. I like big wheels for going fast. And if I wanted, I don't know, if I wanted wheels that big, you know, I like my wish frames. I don't know that I want an aluminum wish frame. And that's kind of what the Element feels like to me. I look at the things that I skate, and I don't know that an aluminum frame makes sense in a lot of use cases. I think they're amazing, but it just might be a very niche product. I know that you can skate them on street, and I know that I skate mostly angle iron and stuff, but I don't know that that's, I don't know. I got to try them just to see, you know, because I have a lot of questions about it. I got to try them and see where I really end up, but I think, you know, ultimately it's amazing that we have options right now. You know, between the two of them, the Sola frame is the most interesting to me. Simply because it's a low aggressive frame. It's not trying to be a big wheel frame, but not a big wheel frame. I think the Element 2 has a lot going for it, but it's a very specific frame with very specific wheel sizes. It's, I don't know. I don't know that the high-low thing is really necessary anymore. I think the Wish is fine, and it skates good. But, you know, in hindsight, I think just having a raised 60 mil frame, you know, would probably be just as easy, and it would be easier to find wheels. So, I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts on it. I don't know if they're justifiable. I need to get a set, but I'm going to probably wait until summer. I got all my money is booked up into things, and you know, I wanted to upgrade the equipment. So my little money that I got just went into you guys. So, but that's the future. I hope that I'm able to. I think they're amazing concepts. I hope that they have real life purpose instead of just, you know, being a solid grinding frame or a solid park frame. Any thoughts on the Fifth Element coming back? Yeah, you should listen to the podcast. I have a lot of thoughts around the Fifth Element that I captured a lot in the podcast. Backtoblading.com/podcast. There are the last 2 episodes. We talked heavily about them. In a nutshell, I think they're an interesting skate. I think it's cool that they brought them back. I think that the nostalgia is really strong, and I can't wait to get myself a pair. I don't know what the ride is going to be like. I don't know that they're going to be able to justify the price. You know, it's $250 boot only, which is a lot of money. You know, when I was just talking about the Alex Broskow skate, $200 boot only, and I was talking about this as a complete USD 7 for $220 complete. Not to mention the Majestic 12, like the Nilsy, is what, $230? It's hard to see where the Fifth Element boot is on that scale. I think they're selling it as their new $300 skate, and I think that's fine. I don't think it needs a gimmick. They have that dual injection so that it's supposed to be a lot easier for lacing up and feel better. That's something that I'm going to need to test in person, though. Just on the surface, I think that it's cool, but I don't know that it's worth the hype. I don't know. I'm going to hold off judgment until I actually get a pair. I do have a pair on order, boot only, that I'll be skating. And yeah, we'll see. It's not going to be here until summer, so I got a little bit of time, but I want them to succeed. I want them to do well. I think that Rossi's needs a hit, and a brand new skate is a great way to do it. I would love to see them bring back some of the skinned follow light style. And I honestly thought that's what they were going to do this year. I didn't ever see a new shell coming out, and that surprised me. It makes sense that it's going to be expensive because they're trying to recoup their costs, but I don't know that that's a good enough reason for me to give them their money, or me to give them my money. All right. Couple things that I already covered. All right, I think that is it. Al, you asked about camera. It's nothing special. It's just a Logitech 1080p webcam. I got a new microphone. That is what is it called? I don't know what it's called, but it's nice. It's like, I don't know. It's a nice mic. It's USB, but it also has that big cable that comes out if I want to do it for mixing and stuff like that. The real thing is that I got a new computer. So I got a personal computer for myself. I'd always had an iMac, and that was my only computer. I use my iPad for most of the things that I do. I use my iPad when I'm in the garage recording audio, through GarageBand and such. Now that I have an actual laptop that I can use out here, I can do more. I can run an actual YouTube streaming thing, and I have actual USB ports and stuff. So that was really the big expense. The camera isn't the huge deal, but getting this laptop is a big deal. So yeah, it feels good. It feels professional. It feels like I actually have. Oh, I got the light too. So yeah, it wasn't a cheap thing, but hey, I'm fancy. I deserve it, right? Anything for the viewers, anything to make the quality better. Yeah, it was totally worth it. I'm super happy with it, and I think it's going to be able to help me make more content, better content. If I go on travel, now I have a laptop that I can make edits when I'm out there. I have a nice little setup so I can do more quality reviews, and I can do interviews and things like that. So super happy with all the expenses. I think it's only going to be, helping make the channel better. People are stepping up. I think, you look at, what the Jump Street production quality, you look at Lino's production quality, like they're doing a great job. They're making their videos look amazing. And, I want to keep making my videos look, just as good, if not better. So, yeah, it's fun. I love it. So, anyway, I think it's everything. XLR, yes, thank you. Big cable is an XLR. I don't do audio, but thank you so much. Yes, thank you all so much for joining. Looks like the feed stayed up, which is great. I'm going to spend the next couple of weeks trying to make this better, improve the quality, improve the audio, things like that. There are things I know that I want to do better. If you have any way of providing feedback, any ideas on how I can make it better, please drop them in the comments for this video. I would love to listen. Also, if you are just catching this at the end and you want to listen to the whole thing, I'm going to dump the audio of this to the podcast on Monday. So backtoblading.com/podcast to subscribe. My friend Ben and I do a podcast every other week. And for the other week, I'm going to be putting the audio from Gear Talk so that you can consume it without having to watch an old guy ramble. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you guys in a couple weeks.